I've known both misery and happiness, lived in so many different skins, it is impossible for one skin to claim me. And I have felt like a wayfarer on an alien planet at times, walking, running, wondering about what brought me to this particular place and why. But once I was here, the dreams started moving in, and I went about devouring them as they devoured me. Gordon Parks.
Drop beat.
Girl. Welcome to another episode of Sis N Giggles.
Hi.
I'm your host, Karen.
And I'm Kecia.
And today we are going to be talking about mental health, specifically Black people in therapy.
Yes.
Do you go to therapy, Kecia?
I do not, but
we about to talk about you then.
Okay.
Before we jump into it though, we are going to... I am going to introduce the food that we'll be eating today. I made a Cajun stir fry and it has some fresh basil in there. It has some thyme and some shrimp.
Ow.
You want to try it?
Before we try it, can you tell them where they can find it?
Oh, I sure can. Thanks for the reminder. You can find all of our recipes on our Patreon. If you sign up for a membership, we will be featuring, I say all of our recipes. I say that every time.
Most of our recipes.
You will find most of our recipes there if you sign up for a membership. You can also find us on all major streaming platforms. So make sure that you tune in, subscribe, follow, like comment. Boards. All that
jazz. But I do want to try it. It looks so pretty.
Please try it. I was tearing it up last night.
Oh, not you eating our food last night for today. This is really good. And I like the lemon.
Oh, yeah, a little lemon up in them.
You think you fancy?
Oh, that's
big ass shrimps. Okay. I should have bought a to-go box.
No, it's a go box. You ain't even going nowhere. You stuck here for a little while.
Okay. Oh my God. Anyway,
I'm hungry. I know.
Oh my God. All right. So today's episode is about Black people and mental health issues. And we are going to talk about therapy, the stereotypical, I don't want to go to therapy. I don't need therapy. Therapy's the crazy people type situation. So before we get into all of that, I do want to talk about like just Black people and mental health in general and how there's a mistrust. There is, not as much representation. Kind of go back a little bit about our ancestors and slavery and things of that. So I feel like Black people have a mistrust with doctors in general, just from, the experiments that we received, our slaves received. And so a couple of those things, if you guys, this is going to be a little history lesson.
Love it.
A little bit. So, of course, the biggest one that probably, or the first one that pops into your mind whenever you think of experiments on Black people is the Tuskegee experiment. So, there was, what was it? Hold on. Let me give you the statistics, right?
Yes,
because I got to know. So for the Tuskegee experiment, African-American men were recruited for what they thought was a medical treatment, but in actuality, it was a study of untreated syphilis that continued long after penicillin was a recognized intervention for the disease. In fact, the men were never treated and many went on to infect their partners as well. So they were told that the study was for something and it was for something else. In reality, they were infecting these men with syphilis and they were giving it to their loved ones, their partners, whoever they had sex with, their children and things of that. So
isn't there a documentary on it?
There is a documentary on it. I do suggest that you guys watch it. It is powerful. So
I will put that below in the description box.
Yeah. So that kind of, a lot of the older people that I knew, they want to get the COVID vaccine because they were like, they're telling us one thing, but is it really
Yeah.
something else? So it's like they don't really trust their physicians. They don't really trust what the doctors have to say because it's like you lied to, you lied to a specific, group of Black people.
And there are still so few Black doctors, like compared to other races, right?
Yeah.
So
underrepresentation of, what's out there. Another experiment that was on Black people, and this was early in the slave, the father of modern gynecological experiences, I think his name was John Sims. He had about 12 slaves that he experimented on, and there's actually a play behind the sheets. It's with three of his experimentees, three of the slave women, and they talk about what happened. So basically, he strapped them down to a chair, and sometimes he gave them anesthesia. Sometimes he didn't. They had to like bear the pain of what he was doing. And he would say that they were willing, but first of all, the power dynamic of Black women in that time, like if I tell a white man no, I might die. So whatever okay.
Right.
So he would say that they were willing. And then he went on to praise them for their courage. So many mixed feelings about that. It's not even really mixed feelings. So many like feelings about that. Big feelings about that. Yeah. So that's another thing that plays into why Black people don't really trust doctors. So it was things like electric shock, brain surgery, amputations. They had another doctor in Jamaica, John Cure, something like that, where he experimented with 850 slaves with smallpox. And this was like in the 1760s or something like that. So it's just like countless times that you hear that doctors were experimenting on Black people, doctors were experimenting on slaves. And
it's still a lot of stories that we don't know either or don't have access to. Right. Like, I forgot what I was watching, but it was talking about like all of the stuff that went on with like AIDS research in Africa and things like that, giving like large populations of people vaccines and stuff like that, not understanding like the impacts or things it could cause.
Right.
So I don't know. I just feel like it runs very deep.
It runs very, very deep. And it's not even per se doctors, like just the experiments in general that slaves had to go through, the devices that they had to wear around their heads and ankles and stuff like that. So the mistrust of white people and the mistrust of white people in power. Yeah. So all of that, encompass why Black people probably don't seek out doctors like that. So, and my sister is a doctor, and some of the stuff that is believed early on from doctors, like Black people have a higher pain tolerance because of the melanin in their skin. Like, no, we feel just
it hurts.
It hurts.
It hurts just as bad as it hurts you.
I mean, I wonder if I could pass for a white woman with my pain tolerance.
Girl, you could, y'all. We gonna dye your roots all the way, friend. We gonna dye your eyebrows.
Hello. It hurts. It hurts, and it's like, doctors are
go
dismissive.
ahead, Rachel.
Not Rachel. But some of the stuff that she would say, like they had like a book that I think she said that there was a Black anatomy book. And doctors, just like the pure ignorance of, we are still human beings. We just have
we have a whole different anatomy book.
Yeah, like, and just,
I know melanin is powerful and all, but like, come on, y'all.
But it's just like you thinking a certain way because we just are a darker skinned people. Like we just, I can't wrap my mind around it. Like the smartest people in the rooms are sometimes the dumbest people. Like, so yeah, that's one thing. Another thing that I feel like with Black people and mental health, we were told, young. I mean, I was so young on whatever happens in this house stays in this house. Do not bring my business out in the street, you know, and that could go from mental illness, parents issues, child issues.
I feel like the Black community, like, has so much shame we carry. Like, everything is so, like, shameful. You need to keep it private. Nobody should know. Like, oh, you're struggling with that. I can't believe, like, you admitted that or said that. Or I don't know. I just feel like it's so much shame that I want us to let go of.
Is it? I don't necessarily see it as shame. I think it's just we're such a private people.
Yeah. But why are we private? You don't want nobody to find out. So, like, you're not on TV broadcasting, like, your business, right? Like, you're going to talk to an actual certified professional. So I feel like that's why I say it's shame, because it's like, why won't you get that, like, help or that counseling?
Yeah, I guess, but
not for everybody.
Not for everybody. But in today's age, it should be easier because everybody's putting everything everywhere, right? So it should be a little bit more comfortable. But I always grew up, don't let nobody in your business. Whatever's in this house, stay in this house. We gonna take care of it. We gonna figure it out.
Yeah. Because I'm very open now, and I wasn't always this way, but I'm very open now with, like, talking about, like, my struggles with, like, anxiety and then, like, depression the last couple of years. Like, I'm very open about it.
I just realized that I have anxiety. Like, ever since I had my baby, I could be in the shower and be like, damn, did I close the dishwasher? I hope she don't go in the dishwasher and get a knife out the dishwasher and run around the house and then fall and then stab herself. And then I gotta get out the house, out the tub, ass naked, grab, like, it's like that.
I'm laughing because I can relate. I don't have a baby, but, like,
I did not have anxiety. I had a baby. I got anxiety. I'm starting to realize stuff about myself and my personality. If I don't complete a task, it weighs on my mind. So I have to do it. And that's like, I don't know if that's a form of OCD or a form of ADHD or something. Like, I have to complete a task. So even when I'm going to sleep, I'll think about it. And I can't sleep because I'm thinking about what I have to do. And with me and the business, it's like, damn, I want to try this on a cake. I wonder if that'll work. I wonder if this technique will work. Like, this year alone, I actually took Xanax, like a half a Xanax, to kind of, like, relax my mind, just because I was
floating, huh?
Not even that, I was asleep. So it helped me relax because I was to a point where I was not sleeping. Yeah. And I know when it wears off because I wake up because I'm thinking. So I wake up because I'm like, oh, I got to do this. I have to do that. I have to do that. And there's nothing wrong with admitting that you need help. Yeah. I'm not advocating for drug whatever, because there are healthier ways to cope with anxiety than to using a pill. But for me, having, like, and I don't even take it every day. I might take it like twice a week if I have something going on, because I know that I'm going to think about it. And even with this, it's like, I have to do this. I have to order that. I have to figure out what's this. And it's just my personality.
So I was going to say, so one, I feel like I was raised with anxiety.
Yeah, you said that.
Yeah, I really feel like I was raised with anxiety, like, before I knew what anxiety was. And now that I identify it better, not only can I recognize it in myself better, but, like, I recognize it in the people around me.
You see that in me?
I don't really see you as like a super anxious person, but I also know you hold a lot in too.
I do.
Yeah. So yeah. Which you don't have to. It's a safe space.
No, I mean, I'm gonna keep going back to you was getting on me with my big back behavior, but that's the second time I done said that. But go ahead.
But no, and I was going to say too, like, I've been on medication before too. I was on Lexapro after I did, like, reality TV because I knew I had some anxiety, but again, I didn't realize how bad it was until, like, that further triggered me. Yeah. And then I had Xanax for, like, my emergency situations because I started having panic attacks and everything. Oof. But no, so like I agree with you. Nothing's wrong with that. Now I have transitioned off of those things. Like luckily, like I've been able to like use a lot of like meditation. I did tons of therapy. And so like now I figure out ways to like ground myself. Now every now and then though, I still be wanting a little Zanny. I be like, man, a little Zanny, a little Zanny. Because life be life.
Life do be life, and like
life be life.
Sometimes, look, I'm 100% advocating for legal weed. I feel like that relaxes people and it does not do as much harm as
I have tapped in.
No.
I'll leave it there.
Okay. But I do see the importance of therapy. I myself don't go to therapy, and it could just be a me thing. Like I said,
why not?
I don't feel like I have that many issues, and not even that many issues. Like, because you don't actually have to have issues to go to therapy. You just talk it out, right? I feel like my husband is my therapist. No, not even that. I'm not even gonna lie and say I feel like my husband is my therapist, because I have a communication issue. I'm self-aware to know that I have a communication issue, and
therapy might could help with that.
Okay.
I don't need therapy. I have a communication issue.
Shut up.
It's a safe space.
So, and I'm getting better because me and my husband have talked about my communication issues, because I feel like I can process it all in my mind and I can get it done, but I need help sometimes.
Yeah.
And maybe that's stopping me from going to the therapist, because I don't know how, and sometimes, like I said before, I don't know how to formulate. Like when me and my husband get in arguments, sometimes I shut down, because it's like in my mind, I know exactly what I want to say, but I can't formulate the words, or when I say it, it sounds stupid, or I feel like I'm going to feel, I don't want to say weak, but like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, I know what I want to say, and then when I say it, it doesn't make sense coming out. I don't know.
I feel you 100%, because I feel the same way. I think a lot of that is our anxiety. Like our anxiety, I won't say all of it is our anxiety, because some of it is just like learning better like communication skills and stuff. But I think we have anxiety about how it's going to be received.
Yeah, because I'm an artist, and I'm sensitive about my
Okay.
Yes, like,
and I hate being misunderstood.
I hate
being misunderstood. Like I feel like I over communicate so that I'm not misunderstood. But then in over communicating, I don't know if I'm being clear and direct enough.
Because it's too much. Like,
right.
So I feel like I under communicate because the things that I say are direct.
Yeah.
I'm pointing it out like, bing, like, yes, the sound effects that's happening. But I feel like I under communicate because the stuff that I'm telling you is very direct.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to water it down. I'm not trying to give you too much. This is what I need. This is what I want. Bam. And like I said, I think I'm getting better, because at one point in time, I would just and I am like that only with my husband, because I will let him say what he has to say. And sometimes I just be like, all right. And I won't say nothing. But other people, maybe you get the top, the bottom, the middle. But with him, it's just like, maybe because the relationship is different. Like, it's I don't want to say I don't love y'all, but like it's a partner relationship.
Love me?
I love you.
I don't know if I feel.
I just said I don't want to say I don't love y'all, because I do. Jesus Christ.
I don't know.
Let me not say the word the Lord's name in vain. But like, we had a disagreement. I won't say argument. We had a disagreement, and I didn't like the way that things ended. So I gave him a second to calm down, and I called back, and I was like, hey, I don't like the way that conversation went. This is what I meant. I don't know if you were being defensive, because you can't just worry about your output in a conversation. You have to worry about somebody else's. But this is what I meant. And I tried not to over communicate. It was like a bam, this is what I meant. This is why I said it type of situation. But maybe that is an anxiety thing. I don't know.
But a therapist could help you discover that. I'm like very pro therapy. Like, again, like even if you don't have any like major problems or you don't feel like you're struggling with all this like trauma and stuff like that, I just feel like one, it helps you understand your feelings better, learn how to communicate about those feelings better, and just understand you better as like a person. Like one of the things that I spent time with like in therapy was like how my childhood, like I told you, having T in the house, the lady that was blind, and taking care of her, like how that impacted me as an adult and like ways, certain things that I do and ways that I do things. Like there's a part of me that like has this codependency, right? Because I got praised for doing things, like taking care of this person, but that wasn't normal for a 12-year-old to be, to like have to change diapers or leave a play date because like, oh, I need to go home and like feed T and make sure she's good.
Yeah. So it all makes sense now because my mom and my sister are big personalities and I'm not. Like, I don't want to be out in the public. I don't want to be, I would rather be, what is it? Seen, not heard, or heard? What is it?
Seen, not heard.
Yeah, I don't want to be heard. I can just, like, I'm very low key and I don't like confrontation. And I think that all goes into the communication because it's like, I don't like confrontation. So if that's what you say that you feel, all right, whatever.
Yeah.
And it's nonchalant. Like I have a very nonchalantness about myself. Like, yeah, whatever.
But you be caring.
I care.
Deep
but
down
it's
inside, like she be caring, y'all.
I be caring. But it's just like I've dealt with, and I love my mom and my sister, but they could be a lot.
Yeah.
They can be a lot. And I've learned how to, I don't want to say fade into the background, but it's like,
that's what I feel like I learned unconsciously, right? Like I don't think my mom and dad sat down and were like, let's teach Karen how to fade into the background. But like that's what I learned
over time.
Yeah, that's what I learned how to do. Like be quiet, get your stuff done, do what you need to do. Cause like my mom and my sister, I would say they have like big personalities too, in a sense of like they're very similar to me because like they like to be like center of attention. They like to be seen. Like they like to have the biggest, the best, everything, like, and I'm not like that. Like I kind of have given them their room to kind of shine.
Yeah, me too. Like,
and that's why it's so hard for me to like come out of my shell, like even as an adult, because like that's foreign to me.
The only thing that I do now as an adult is, like I said, the biggest thing that I do for myself is my birthday. Like, bitch, we gonna celebrate my birthday because I feel like it's for me. So, and my mom and my sister, they're 2 days apart in like birthday. Like she's February 2nd, and one's February 4th.
Dang.
So it's a whole like, it's my birthday. No, it's my birthday.
Dang, that's crazy. So y'all got 2, 4,
4, 2.
Yes.
And 2, 2.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah. So it's like, I see all of that. I'm going to chill over here. Right. Because I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it. And I'm more like my dad. Like you're not going to get me there until you get me there. And then I'm there.
Right.
So
that's how I feel too. I'm like my daddy.
Yeah.
He chill. Like if he don't really have much to say, like he ain't really gonna add to the conversation unless he comfortable with you. Then he'll talk your head off, right?
Yeah.
And more like one-on-one small group scenarios type thing. But yeah, no, I agree with you. But that's why I said like therapy has helped me, like even just small things like that, like understanding why certain things are hard for you, understanding like why you are certain ways, and figuring out like where you even want to like challenge yourself. And like for me, obviously, like I did a lot of therapy too, like following my separation and divorce. And it's like I processed, not only like what I was going through and the grief and things like that, but like I took probably the deepest internal dive into myself that I've like ever done.
I don't think I'm that deep.
You are.
Maybe if I have to be, I have to.
You are, yeah.
Okay.
And maybe I don't want to say the right life situation, but like different situations and different things you go through in life, they make you go to those places. And so like I did a lot of like self-work and like looking in the mirror to like be like, how did I get here? And like, how do I avoid ever getting back to this place? Yeah. But like I said, like finding a good therapist, like a therapist I trusted, like that wasn't a one and done thing. Like I've gone through several therapists. I've changed therapists. I've had therapists that were there for like one phase of my life. Mm-hmm. And now that I'm in a different phase, like feeling like I need a different type of therapist. So I think that's another thing I would stress too, is like finding the therapist that like fits what you're looking for, because different therapists are good at different things.
Now, I will say that I believe that my husband needs therapy wholeheartedly, 100%. Yeah. Like, you need to go to therapy. Yeah. And he knows that he needs therapy. But another issue with Black people going to therapy is so much childhood trauma to unpack there. They don't want to relive it. Like, I would rather, I made it through it.
I don't want to go back.
I don't want to go back. I don't want to talk about it. It happened. It's done. Yeah. And his biggest thing is, can't nobody tell me how to feel. And I tell him, it's not anybody telling you how to feel. It's telling you how to process what happened to you.
Yes. And like, it gives you, even like, I've had so many moments with my therapist where like, something, but having somebody like tell you, like validate you in that way, it'd be like, man, I didn't even know I needed that. Yeah.
And like, my biggest struggle is, since he's never been to therapy and he didn't feel love as a child, it's all coming out on our daughter. Like, that is his best friend. That's not a good thing. I mean, right now, because she's young.
Right.
But when he get older and she start talking back and she start hurting his feelings.
Yeah.
There's going to be an issue there. And you are putting, because I can't love you like your mama was supposed to love you. I can't love you like your daughter is going to love you. That's an unconditional love that when I had, and I joke about this, when I had my daughter, I was like, he going to leave me in that hospital and take the baby and go. And go and the baby dip. Run. But because there is no processing of those feelings and there is no understanding what happened, like, he did the best that he can to get out of those situations, but it brought up so many other emotions when I had my child, because he was like, how can you have a child and love them unconditionally but then leave them at somebody's step? So he's reliving it all over again through Briley, and it's like, I would never let that happen to my child. I would never. So he's not gotten over it. Yeah. It's just coming in a different form.
And see, I think that's another reason why therapy is so important, especially, and like, I might be wrong because obviously I didn't do research on this, but like, I feel like men especially will act like they're over something or think that they've processed something,
but something like this brings them back.
But they did not process it at all. Like, one of my exes I was with, like, swore to God he had like processed basically like his daddy issues, for lack of a better term. And I don't mean that in like a belittling or like degrading way, but like, he thought he would, oh yeah, I processed that. Like, I've been accepted this, blah, 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 blah. When I tell you the daddy issues were glaring to me, like, they showed up in every single area of his life, and it was like he didn't even know it. Like, it showed up in our relationship, it showed up in his relationship with himself, it showed up in his work and like what he chose to do, how he chose to do it. Like, it showed up in future goals that he had. Like, it showed up so glaring to me in every single area, and like, he just act like, oh no, I processed it.
No. even though I'm not in therapy, I definitely see the benefit of it. And it's not something, you know, of course, therapy is for yourself. So if he goes, he goes.
Yeah.
I don't need to hear what's going on.
Right.
But I do feel like at some point in time, you need to talk to somebody, because there's only so much I can do. There's only so many words of advice I can give you, but I feel like it's absorbed more when it's coming from somebody else.
Yes, I know. Like, and I hate that and love that, right? Because it's just like, I could have told you this, but also
I've been telling you this.
Right, but you needed somebody else to tell you. But that's real. Like, and that's another thing I feel like is good about therapy, because you have this person that is not so close to you that they're
not biased.
Yes, they're not biased. They're not somebody where, I mean, you may be worried about them judging you, but like also it's not like coming home to your wife, you know, it's not like coming home to your best friend and admitting these things and like you have to keep facing them over and over.
Or
like,
feeling like that person's going to look at you different because of this. Okay, I'm sure a lot of things have happened to him that he has not told me about.
Yes.
So I feel like he may feel like if I tell her this much realness about me, is she going to run? Because another thing that he deals with is abandonment issues.
I have abandonment issues.
Yeah, he has abandonment issues because, like I said, I hope to get him on here one day to talk about it. Like, his mom left him and his brothers. She bought him by his auntie. She bought them to a foster home. The foster home first woman sent him back. The second foster home woman sent him back, and then he went back to that woman again. Like, it's so much like abandonment issues, and what that caused for him to, like, he detaches. Like, if you say something wrong or, you know, rub him the wrong way, it's like you did. Like,
there is a book. I don't know if he into books.
He is.
Or it might just help you too. But there's a book on attachment styles, and it talks about people who have like different attachment styles, and like it explores what it looks like and how it shows up in like your love relationship specifically. Y'all should read that.
Yeah. And I think that Black people in general and Black men around his age, the crack epidemic like effed up everything. So it's like them dealing with that, them dealing with their parents that were on drugs, them dealing with being single parents. So it was like compound situations. So it's like you're dealing with a generation that's coming out of that era, you know, that's trying to cope with I don't want my child to be a single parent. I mean, live in a single parent household. I want to be there. I don't want to be absent. So there's a lot of different things with that. And, you know, people always say, oh my God, I remember one girl was like, he's so cute. I was like, you can have him. But learning how to love somebody like that, it takes a lot of patience, but it's 100% worth it. It's worth it.
Yeah, I was going to say kudos to you, because that's another side of things we don't always talk about, is like how hard it is to care or love someone who has these different issues. But like, we all have different issues, right? Like, I do have some abandonment issues. Mine didn't come from childhood though. Mine came from bad relationships I was in and just feeling abandoned in those. And they show up different ways. And so, you know, I've been in relationships with people who have struggled with their mental health too. And like, that's been hard. There has been, like, to what I feel, and I'm an energy person, like energy transfers that have happened before. Right. So I would just be like, man, like, you don't even realize how being around that will affect you. And again, like in therapy, it's like, not only do I think like and I'm using y'all as an example because we're talking about y'all, but like not only do I think like it would benefit like Brian for himself to go, but also realizing like how that may impact you in y'all's relationship.
Yeah.
And even for you, like going and like I don't want to say having to love someone like that, because like nothing's wrong with him, you know what I mean? Like
my perfect little 6'5" angel.
right, you know, but like understanding how that may impact you too, because when you do love and care for someone, you want to show up for them and know how to like help them.
Right. Yeah. And like I said, over the years, because we've been together almost 10 years, it's a learning experience. But the biggest thing is just being there for them and showing that you love them and that, you know, I'm here for you no matter what. Because I'm not joking. I
Locked
said,
in.
you gonna have to kill me because ain't no divorce, brother. My brother, man. We in it for the long haul.
Amen. I feel like that's how it's supposed to be. And that alone, like when you talk about him having abandonment issues, like hearing that from you probably like heals him in a sense, you know, like knowing that you don't plan on leaving and like you're there for him, like that probably means so much more to him than you can even think. Because like as being someone with abandonment issues, it's like, damn, I want somebody to love me enough to like not want to leave.
Yeah. And on those days when like you get on my absolute nerves, I feel like you don't love somebody until you look at them and you curse them out. Be like, love you, MF. But you saying in your mind, but you looking like,
but I'm here.
You want something to eat. But are you hungry? Like, I'm mad at you, but I'm gonna still make sure you straight.
Yeah. And that's what I feel like love is. Like when you have those moments and it's like, I can't stand you or I'm mad at you, I'm unhappy with you right now, but I still got your back.
Right.
I'm still making sure you're good. I'm still looking out for you. I'm still like considering
because
you.
This is just a moment in time for us. And we're going to get over it.
We're going to get over it. Yeah.
Well, you guys, this is part 1 of our Black people in mental health /therapy. We do not want to let you guys stay on our episode because we have so many bullet points left. So join us next week
for
part 2. And you can always go on our discussion board, TikTok, Instagram, all of the socials. If you guys have any stories you want to tell us, any suggestions that you want to make about.
Can I leave a question for the audience?
You can leave
not to interrupt you.
Go ahead.
But question, do y'all go to therapy? And if so, what are some of the biggest like epiphanies or self revelations that you've had from therapy?
Yeah, the accomplishments, the weights lifted off of your shoulders,
the things that made something click and just be like, oh, that's why I do that.
Yes. We would love to hear from you guys. So until then, we'll see you next week. Bye.
See ya.